work out. Got you up here doing a little home maintenance item that only raises its ugly head in the winter months. Now, of course, this is going to be dependent on where you live. You got your places where they're not even sure what snow is about, or it doesn't accumulate too much that it even registers as a problem. Then you got your folks that live in serious conditions where it snows so much, they don't even think about not shoveling roofs off. We live right in the midpoint. What do I mean by midpoint? Sometimes we get a lot of snow. Some years we don't get as much. But the roof always stays the same. It catches the snow and the snow has got nowhere to go. So the debate, the question on your mind as a homeowner, do I need to shovel? So if you live in the midpoint, it means that sometimes it snows a lot. Sometimes it doesn't snow enough to really worry about. You need to make the call. So this house, not that old, super built, overbuilt for the conditions that it's going to experience. But are you a man of peace of mind? I know I am. So where we live, a mixed bag of homes from all different ages. There's homes that date all the way back to the 1940s and earlier, right up till 2023. They're banging nails right now. I just came from a subdivision for work where they are building brand new homes. The newer the home, the more built for the conditions it's apt to be. The super old homes, well, they're probably overbuilt. That midpoint, 70s, 80s vintage homes, well, you might have a couple things to worry about if the snow gets super deep. That's a whole nother subject. I've never shoveled this roof off until this year. Why? Because you're not shoveling the snow off for the current conditions. You're shoveling the snow off for what might come. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm almost up at the peak, so it's not quite as deep, but down at the edges, because of the way the wind blows, the snow was almost 5 feet deep. And here you see the layers. Fluffy, hard pack, fluffy, super hard pack. It is the 1st of March today. What does that mean for us in the Canadian North? Well, springtime could start in a couple of weeks. It could start 2 months from now. You're really not sure what the weather's going to do. So you got super, super deep snow. Most of it's light and fluffy, maybe. The forecast is calling for even more flurries. And when they say 2 to 4 centimeters, you're probably going to get a foot. So you got all this more snow load. And then what happens in the springtime? Well, it gets warm, and the sun comes out, and the dreaded rain. So all of a sudden, you got the light and fluffies. You got the light and fluffy snow that was only, 4, 5 feet deep on a real heavy year. Maybe it's only a couple feet deep, but it pours rain for 2 days. Well, the weight difference between 2 feet of powder and a foot of ice is a big time. So my take on this is that you're best to shovel for the conditions and peace of mind today than wait to see what's going to happen tomorrow. I have seen houses that have had immediate damage where we've had like a flash rain, heavy snow, flash rain, tons of weight, older home maybe, or could be a brand new home, and something just wasn't quite built right. Dang, they missed a couple nails. How about that? And immediate damage, ceiling, sag, truss buckle, who knows what might happen. Or slow and steady damage. I can remember when I was looking to buy my first house, we stopped and looked at a early 80s vintage home. It had an attached garage with a breezeway. And if you don't know what a breezeway is, picture the garage and the house and a little alley in between with a roof over top. The way this was all framed and built, well, it involved some trusses of the homemade variety maybe. I don't know what the heck was going on in there. And over the years, a big old saddle in that roof had developed. From what? Heavy, heavy, heavy snow load and nobody shoveling. Slow and steady fatigue, until one day, maybe not tomorrow, today, tomorrow, the next day, one day, problems. The other thing you got to watch out for, ice damming. Again, it's not the snow you're worried about, it's the warm temperatures and the rain that could crop up on a guy is what's going to get you. So, is it worth it? Do you have to shovel your roof off in the wintertime? Man, you run a tight ship, I'm sure. You're the man of the household, you figure it out. When we lived in a mobile home, I shoveled that thing off religiously because I don't need to find out how much snow it's going to hold. What do you have more time for? Do you got a few hours to shovel the roof off because your best gauge and judgment by the weather forecast is you could be headed towards a tricky situation if you leave it alone? Or are you willing to take the risk and see how it goes? One of the famous last words that I've heard is, oh, I got house insurance. If you think that's how house insurance works, well, I'm amazed you've made it this far in life as an adult. If you just let your house cave in or encounter serious damage because you were lazy, you might get a house claim insurance or whatever. You might get a claim in on it. But it's never the end of the story. Your premiums go up and you think that's a convenient thing to do? A couple hours running a snow shovel, you probably need exercise anyways. Or months and months and months of drug out, stressful proceedings because you decided not to shovel your roof off? Come on now. Travel trailers, garden sheds, these sketchy fabric coverall buildings that are popping up on Facebook Marketplace. Get your shovel out, boys. Save yourself the trouble. Just get it done.